So when we're ready to start.
Good? Okay. Good morning, everybody, and thank you for attending this meeting. I am not the chair, I am the vice chair, and I'm going to be taking over for the person who's absent. My name is Dr. Lorraine Goodwin, and I welcome you to the San Joaquin Valley Air Pollution Control District Central Region Hearing Board. This is March 20th. Time now is about 10:01, 10:02 in the morning. And I'm going to call the meeting to order, and I ask the clerk to call the roll call, please.
Dr. Goodwin?
Here?
Mr. Mulligan?
Here.
Mr. Robertson?
Here.
Through the chair, we have quorum.
Okay. Now we're going to move to the consent calendar, and I ask if there are any corrections or additions to the consent calendar. If so, please mention what they are. If you have no statements, I move for a motion.
I'll move to approve as submitted. Second.
Okay, moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so it's approved. No dissents. For all witnesses who intend to speak today, I would like you to please stand and raise your right hand so that you can be sworn in. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you are about to give in the matters pending in this meeting before the hearing board today shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Okay. So we'll go to our first person. Okay, so I now call Guardian Industries, docket number C2405S, and they are at 11535 East Mountain View Avenue, Kingsburg, California, 93631. Who is speaking for? Oh, hi. Okay. Okay. Could you please state your names and spell them for the clerk?
John Roach, R-O-A-C-H. Nico Martinez, M-A-R-T-I-N-E-Z.
Oh, okay. Okay, we'll now move to the staff report.
Very good. Thank you. My name is Will Kuhn, and I'm an air quality specialist here at the district. And before you today is Guardian Industries. Guardian Industries, or Guardian, operates a float glass manufacturing facility with a 212 MMBTU an hour natural gas-fired melting furnace. In order to control emissions, the furnace exhaust is routed through an emission control system that includes a dry scrubber, an electrostatic precipitator, or EP, and a selective catalytic reduction system, or SCR. Guardian has plans to shut down the dry scrubber, EP, and SCR system in order to inspect, clean, and conduct necessary maintenance of the EP. The EP operates by establishing a high voltage electrical charge on the discharge plates inside the unit. Particulate matter from the exhaust stream passes through the discharge plates, receiving an electrical charge. The charged particulate is then deposited on the grounded collector plates. Upstream of the EP, the dry scrubber uses injected trona as a reactant to reduce SOx in the exhaust. This material accumulates on the internal components of the EP, and the buildup can cause a short, reducing the effectiveness of the EP unless it is cleaned. After cleaning the EP, Guardian must then clean the continuous opacity monitoring system, or COMS, and optical stack flow meter to ensure that no material has accumulated on their lenses, which leads to erroneous readings. Variance protection is necessary because the glass melting furnace, once heated up, operates nonstop for many years in what is known as a campaign. It cannot be shut off without causing significant damage to the furnace. A glass melting furnace takes several days to shut down and several weeks to get back to operational temperature. The closing or taking would be without a corresponding benefit in reducing air contaminants, as the furnace would have to be shut down. The shutdown of the furnace would take several days and startup would take several weeks. The shutdown could result in damage to the furnace as well, and Guardian has indicated that they would lose approximately $10 million if they had to have shut down. NOx, VOCs, CO, SOx, and PM emission limits are vacated during the 144 hours of annual maintenance allowed by Permit Rule 4354. Excess visible emission estimates are based on comms readings from past events. During the movement of dampers, opacity may peak in the 70% to 95% range for 2 to 3 minutes, with 10 to 12 minutes of opacity, the 30% to 50% range. In addition, throughout the cleaning, random hours may also show 4 to 6 minutes of opacity in the 20 to 40% range. However, the majority of minutes during the variance will not be over the permitted limit of 20% opacity. Guardian has requested a short variance from the applicable requirements of District Rules 2010, 2070, 2201, 2520, 4101, 4354, and California Health and Safety Code Section 41701, in addition to the applicable conditions of the subject permits. The requested short variance will be for a consecutive 72-hour period to occur sometime between March 20th, 2024 and April 20th, 2024 inclusive. If granted, the variance will allow the continued operation of the glass melting furnace and continued glass production with excess visible emissions, while Guardian shuts down the emission control system in order to perform routine maintenance on the EP. The district believes the required findings as set forth in the California Health and Safety Code can be made and recommends that Guardian be granted a short variance with the conditions on pages 4, 5, and 6. And this concludes the district presentation.
Okay, and this is more or less a maintenance
Yes, that's
variance.
correct.
And the main reason you're here today is because of the visible emission.
Correct.
Okay. So I'm open for any questions that the board may have.
Does Guardian have any presentation to make?
No.
First,
Everything Will said was spot on.
first maintenance of the year?
Yes.
Okay. And expected to last no longer than 72 hours?
Yes.
Correct. And how many more times do you expect to do this year?
Hopefully one more.
Okay.
Are you okay with the recommendations on, the staff recommendations on pages 4, 5, and 6?
Yeah.
We do this quite often, and when you do see opacity of 95, have you ever had any issues or concerns from the public?
No, there's all farmland around us, so
Mhm.
there's really no public concern.
Okay, thank you.
What are they farming on the land around you? Do you know?
Grapes, citrus, mainly.
Fruit trees.
And
Almonds as well.
too, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're right next door to Sunmade.
Sunmade.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is, we've seen this, of course, before. We're familiar with your maintenance. Is there any public comments? We have anyone on the phone? Anywhere?
No public comments online.
Okay, no more questions from the board?
No.
Okay, so I'm looking for a motion on Guardian Industries.
I move to approve Guardian Industry LLC's petition for a short variance set forth in docket number C-24-05S with the required 6 findings of the Health and Safety Code adopted by reference as set forth in the staff report. Variance shall be effective for a consecutive 72-hour period of time to occur between March 20th, 2024 and April 20th, 2024 inclusive, or until the maintenance has been completed and the emission control devices are returned to compliant operation, whichever occurs first, and shall be subject to the conditions on pages 4 to 6 of the staff report.
I'll second.
Well, I don't think we need a roll call vote for this, do we?
Yeah.
We do? Okay. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Dr. Goodwin,
Yes.
Mr. Mulligan,
Yes.
Mr. Robertson.
Yes.
Through the chair, motion passes.
Okay, well, congratulations. You have your variance again.
Thank you.
Okay. I will now address the issue of Mike Jackson Farms Incorporated, docket number C-2406F. They're coming for a short variance. They're located at P.O. Box 456, Kingsburg, California. You ready? Okay, could you please identify yourself and spell your name?
Manuel Cunha, president of the Nisei Farmers League, an agricultural organization based in the San Joaquin Valley and throughout California. The last spelling is C-U-N-H-A, Junior. Thank you.
Okay. And I'll turn it over to the staff.
Yes, good morning. My name is Estela Soto, and I'm a senior air quality specialist here with the district. And before you is Mike Jackson Farms, Inc., and they are an agricultural operation in the Central Valley. They have, for purposes of this petition, they have approximately 27 acres of pomegranates that were planted for the juice market. The orchard is located on Smith Mountain in Fresno County. Normally, they would grind the entire orchard removal, but due to the circumstances beyond their control, they are requesting authorization to burn approximately 27 acres of trees. The referenced orchard is not able to be ground up using a grinder, as the mountain where the orchard is located is full of rocks and steep terrain. I think it's Maca Hills Bulldozer Service. They are a tree removal service that has provided the removal and grinding of the orchard before for Mike Jackson Farms. They have stated that they will not take their equipment up the mountain to perform the grinding at this location again, because the last time they did, it was dangerous due to the steep terrain, and the equipment sustained a considerable amount of physical damage, which resulted in extremely high damage costs. Therefore, Mike Jackson Farms, Inc. has requested a short variance from the applicable requirements of District Rule 4103. The requested variance period would occur sometime between March 21st, 2024 and June 19th, 2024 inclusive. If granted, the variance would allow the burning of approximately 27 acres of pomegranate orchard removal material. Since the burning of orchard removal material is currently prohibited by District Rule 4103, all excess emissions associated with the burning of this material would be considered excess. Mike Jackson Farms, Inc. exercised due diligence in attempting to comply with the requirements of District Rule 4103 by requesting grinding contractors come out and give a bid. However, the orchard is located on a mountain full of rocks and steep terrain, and the contractors will not take their equipment up the mountain, as it is dangerous and it would cause significant damage to their equipment. Mike Jackson Farms has indicated that they do not have any other option than to burn, not allowing them to utilize their land in the manner that they think will provide the best economic benefit would entail the taking of property and would present a financial hardship due to the loss of income. The district believes that the required findings as set forth in the California Health and Safety Code can be made, and recommends that Mike Jackson Farms, Inc. be granted a short variance with the conditions on pages 4 and 5 of the staff report. And that concludes the district's presentation. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Cunha, would you like to address the variance?
Yes, thank you again very, very much for allowing me to be in here. It's been a long time. Long time. But again, thank you very much. Appreciate the board. I've been out there at the location. It's on the east side of Dinuba. It once was with avocados at one time, many, many years ago, by the previous farmer. he passed and everything, and then they planted pomegranates. And if a pomegranate is not a big trunk tree at all, it's a very small, like a bush. They had to have a dozer, a pretty good sized dozer, to push the piles. And even then, in pushing the piles, ran into a lot of rock. And there's a lot of dirt, but there's rock. And on the steepness of this, and I was out there where the grinder was, and I don't even see how he even attempted to do it, but he did, as stated in the report. The trees, the pomegranate trees are real dry. And so they will, being that they don't have a big trunk, it's not going to be an item that's going to be burning and burning and burning. It'll go up real fast. But he has done everything possible. You can't push it with a blade or even a fork blade because you'll pick up rocks. And doing that, that becomes more of a problem. But also, I mean, they are going to be replanting that hill, and they are planting it back into citrus, which will be a long time tree and protect that hillside as well. So the farmer does care about the environment out there, the rain, the water, and everything that comes. He wants to keep all the rain. I think we all do. So I appreciate the staff very much for going into this. The grower did due diligence by getting other bids from people, and no one wants to touch it. But again, going out there, and I've seen a lot of burn activity and stuff throughout the valley and the state. But pomegranates is one of those trees that is more of a bush than a tree. So it will go up fast. So the lingering or the burning will not happen because they're probably a 4-inch, but there may be 3 or 4 inches, but they're small. So
There's the
again,
photographs that I provided
Oh, that's
for
what
your
this is?
reference. Yes,
Yeah.
sorry, I
Use
forgot
it.
to mention that.
yeah, if you see the photographs,
Very helpful.
you need a goat or a mountain goat, I guess I would, or goat. That would be the only really, when I got out of the pickup, in one spot, I got out and opened the door and then realized that where the road was, or the terracing, they're terracing the hill. I thought, oh my God, I'm going to roll down this hill. So the girl told me, no, don't get out, because once you step out, it's over.
Yeah.
So, but he's done everything to protect the hill and do the right process, and has worked closely with all of his other crops in grinding. Where it is feasible, he does 100% grinding. And he appreciates the district's programs for farmers. He really does. And a lot of our farmers appreciate the program you have for our farmers and other means of alternatives to burning, because burning is going to be gone. And so we're trying to make the best thing. So thank you very, very much for your time.
Okay. How many plants are on 27 acres?
I'm going to guess, because of the size of the bush or the plant, probably 200.
200.
Yeah, but again, on the hillside, when he terraced it, the original owner, Mr. Giannini, when he terraced all of this hill. Tremendous place for growing citrus because of the air movement. It's more of a movement of air up, which means no freezing, which is tremendous. So when you look at the trees that are in those piles, it's going to take a lot of trees to build a good sized pile. So if I looked at a pile in this room, right, probably maybe 4 or 5 acres because of the variable sizes. And once you push them out, they kind of crush together because there's so much air space with the tree as compared to our other trees in our industry, especially tree fruit or some of those that are more thicker. These are more airier and a lot more thin branches. But I was out there, and he's willing to push some of the piles where there can be pushed with the blade so that you don't have a bunch of fires. He's willing to push some of those closer together. But it is steep. And all the planting is done all by hand, and a low profile crawler that's about from the base, from the underneath the carriage, is about 1.5 feet high, but real wide carriage, like they use the tractors up in the Lodi area because of the peat soil. They have what they call a 36-inch track wide. like a float, so it doesn't sink into the soil. In this case, the steepness and the terracing requires that tractor to be lower to the ground because of any stability.
See that? Since you're in the foothill area, any chances or concern of fire spreading?
Nowhere. There's citrus to the east of it over the hill. All of the other piece that the grower had already ground and the problems, that's all dirt. And to the south, it's all, it's just dirt. And then across of the road, that main road, is cherries. So that's green trees. There's no vegetation, no dry vegetation at all. Not like you would see in cattle range, let's say. There's no cattle range around there.
Good. I have a question for staff. So they'll follow the same rules with the burn permitting,
Yes,
the okay days and the not.
that is correct. It's subject to allocation. So they'll have to wait. They'll have to get on the waiting list. They have to wait till they get the phone call accepted, and then they will get authorization, not for all the 27 acres at once.
Mhm.
They have about approximately 80 piles, 85 piles so far, but they're not going to burn all of it at once. It'll be depending on the allocations, and so they are aware of that.
Good. Okay.
So they're not guaranteed that they're going to get allocation between March 21st and I think it's June 19th.
June, yeah.
Yes.
June 19th.
You're good with the recommendations staff has put in the report?
Yes, we're hoping this week's rain is pretty good, so we might be an opportunity, and maybe I am praying for more rain for the entire month of April. So I haven't given up. I got 2 more weeks of March, and I want more rain,
Yeah.
and then I want all of April, not just because of the burn, but I need the water. So yes, we're good with that.
How many other grinding contractors did you contact?
I called one other JF, a big contractor, and said, no way. And they're having these problems throughout that east side of the valley, a lot of the citrus because of the rocks. And I had a citrus ranch, and my ranch was cobble, up to a 7 to 10 inch cobble. And when I pulled my trees out, it was really tough. I mean, eventually we had to, this was a long time ago, but
So you contacted two?
yeah, we
McKay Hill and
contacted
this
two.
other one.
Yes, I contacted JF and they said, no way. They're
Did
not
they
gonna-
come out to the site? And
Well, he knows the site really well because they grind a lot of tree fruit in that area outside of Dinuba and vineyards. And anything, as soon as you leave that flat piece and you start up, it's over.
Mhm.
Yeah, but it's great drainage and it's great air movement because that means you don't have to use a lot of wind machines as compared when you're down on the floor of the valley because they're freezing temperatures. But yeah, you would never take a grinder up there, and it's not safe to begin with. But too much rock, when you pile the trees, the rock is there.
You're going to replant this with citrus?
Oh, he's replanting with citrus, the entire thing.
Do you have to remove the rocks for that
No.
replanting?
No, you just leave the rocks. Yeah, you don't,
Okay.
you would never, once you find one rock, find they seem to grow. They seem to grow. I've been out there to, wait a minute, that rock wasn't there. Yeah, but it's there now. It just seems, and some of our farmers have these issues. And we're still trying to figure out how to work through some of this. But the machinery, no, there's no way. When you start throwing rocks into a grinder and what you expect it to, and then yeah, it's too much damage to the machine. And the cost to the grower to push it down a hill is incredibly more dangerous, but also you're going to be pushing rocks with, and by the time you get the brush down to the hill, it's all broken up. So you've defeated the whole purpose, at least of trying to, get rid of it.
Yeah, the pictures are very helpful.
Yeah, it was when I was out there, and I walked quite a bit of it because I wasn't going to stay in that pickup. I thought it was better walking. I felt safer walking on the ground. But it's.
So you mentioned the coming weather. Are you going to try and burn when it's when it's raining so that
When
it'll
we
knock
get-
the smoke
yeah,
down? Is
Right,
that the?
well, the air movement is up there. It's tremendously up. So with the allocation agreements with the district, that's when he will burn. So if they tell us to burn this part of it, and we have 10 acres or 7 acres, then that's what they'll burn, and then we'll hope for the next one. But they're gonna try to burn it to where they're gonna burn it in a way that they can keep planting. So we would sort of, let's just say if we're looking from the north, going south, so we can keep planting that area because they have a lot of tree stock that is sitting in the nurseries.
Just out of curiosity, what's the composition of these rocks? Does anyone know?
Oh, I'm gonna say granite.
Well, granite, probably.
Yeah, granite, a lot of granite in. I mean, they're tough looking rocks. And they're heavy. I mean, I'm just a little guy. I thought I can, and I'm pretty young yet. And it took me a little bit to lift. But I would say it's granite,
Granite.
tough rocks.
So do we have anyone on the line? Any public comment on this variance?
No public comments online.
One more point.
Okay.
So on recommendation number 1, it says the variance shall be effective from March 21, 24 and June 19th. That should be 2.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, that is correct, sorry.
Okay. So, do we have a motion on this?
I'll move to approve Mike Jackson Farms Incorporated petition for a short variance set forth in docket number C-24-06S, which requires 6 findings of the Health and Safety Code adopted by reference set forth in the staff report. Variance shall be effective from March 21, 2024, with the correction of 2 June 19, 2024, inclusive, or until all 27 acres of pomegranate orchard removal material has been burned, whichever occurs first, and shall be subject to the conditions on pages 4 and 5 of the staff report.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Going to call roll?
Dr. Goodwin,
Yes.
Mr. Mulligan,
Yes.
Mr. Robertson,
Yes.
through the chair, motion passes.
Okay, congratulations. You have gotten your variance.
It's a nice
Or
report.
grind them.
Very interesting.
You're welcome.
Okay, and then our last on this docket is RDI Glass Incorporated, docket C-2407S for short variance.
I'm Manuel Salinas, Environmental Manager at RDOG Glass in Madera. Last name is Salinas.
Okay, and I'll turn it over to the staff.
Okay, good morning, everybody. I'm Chris Kalashin, Air Quality Specialist here at the Air District, and before you this morning is RDOG. They operate a container glass manufacturing operation, which consists of 2 glass melting furnaces. To control air pollution, the furnaces vent into a common stack that has a semi-dry scrubber and an EP. RDOG has plans to repair the scrubber and EP to clear a blockage to ensure proper functioning of the system. During these repairs, the furnace's exhaust streams will bypass the scrubber and the EP. District Rule 4354 allows for excess NOx, SOx, CO, VOC, and PM emissions during annual maintenance of the scrubber and EP for up to 144 hours, of which RDOG currently has 144 hours remaining. However, visible emissions are not addressed in this rule, and District Rule 4101 limits visible emissions to no more than 20% opacity for 3 minutes in any 1 hour. As you've heard before in previous petitions, a glass melting furnace is designed to operate for multiple years, known as a campaign, and it operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If it's allowed to cool down, significant damage can be done to the refractory brick. RDOG has requested a short variance from the applicable requirements of district rules, in addition to the applicable conditions of their subject permits. Now, the requested short variance would be for a consecutive 24-hour period, and that's going to occur sometime between March 21st, 2024 and March 31st, 2024 inclusive. If granted, the variance would allow the continued operation of the glass melting furnace with excess visible emissions while RDOT shuts down the scrubber and EP to perform repairs on the emission control equipment. NOx, SOx, CO, VOC, and PM emissions limits are vacated during the 144 hours of annual maintenance allowed by Permit Rule 4354, and total visible emissions shall be no greater than 95% opacity. The district believes required findings set forth in the California Health and Safety Code can be made and recommends that RDOT be granted a short variance of the conditions on pages 4 and 5. And this concludes the district's presentation.
Okay, and would you like to add anything to the presentation?
I was here before you in December when we do our annual clean out, and we had a situation where we had lost plant air, and so in the scrubber system, it atomizes water and soda ash, and water was coming down into the system like full droplets and ended up creating a blockage that normally we don't have. So again, this will go towards our 144 hours of maintenance. And for safety reasons, we wanted to request a variance so our operators can get in there and remove the blockage and just to remove some of that heat and the draw into the cyclone system. But we feel like we can do it within 4 to 6 hours. We put 24-hour request just because we've noticed this in January, but it was this was our first variance ability to request a variance after we opened up the system to see what kind of blockage it was. So again, it should be a short, maybe 5-6 hours by now.
Okay, and is this going to count as one of your maintenances also for the year?
Yes, normally we have up to 144, but we typically get it done within 96 hours, and so this will count towards that. So we'll be moving quick to save some of that maintenance hours.
Okay, and you said it was water and what else is?
The reagent is soda ash, so once it solidifies like that, it's almost like concrete.
Okay.
Is that blockage causing any issues?
Right now, we are complying with our SOx emission limits. So, but we're worried that if the blockage would grow, we may have issues.
So this blockage is a repair as opposed to a preventive type maintenance, right? And is that covered by this 144
Yes.
allocation?
Yes,
It repairs as well.
Yes.
Okay.
And to prevent this situation from happening again, we're going to upgrade the system logic to control a low or no air situation like this, so that it won't happen again.
On the first recommendation, you've got the time period there, or until the repairs have been made. Shouldn't there be a statement and the emissions control devices are returned to compliant operation? I noticed that was missing in this one.
Well, the emissions control equipment is going to be operating during this period.
Okay. It just wasn't real clear. It says, or until the repairs have been made and returning to compliant operation.
Okay, I can change it if you want it. What do you want it to say?
Well, if it's going to be.
Oh, no, what would you, no, I can change it. What do you want it to say? I can make that change.
Are the emission control devices going to be in operation during this period?
The system will be in bypass.
Okay,
Again, to
all right.
reduce the heat.
So it should say, or until the repairs have been made and the emissions control devices are returned to compliant operation.
Well, they're bypassing them though.
It's going to be the same as the first thing we did.
Which had that statement in there.
Yeah.
Okay, I can make it look just like that.
Okay.
Yes. And so we've also discussed the particulate matter. Any more questions? Okay, anyone in the public? Here for
No public comments, no comments online.
Okay, so looking for a motion on.
I'll do it. I move to approve RDOT Glass Incorporated's petition for a short variance set forth in docket number C-24-0S with the required 6 findings of the Health and Safety Code adopted by reference as set forth in the staff report. Variance shall be effective for a 24-hour period of time to occur sometime between March 21st, 2024 and March 31st, 2024 inclusive, or until the repairs have been completed and the emission controls devices are returned to compliant operation, whichever occurs first, and shall be subject to conditions on pages 4 to 5 of the staff report with the revision we discussed to recommendation number 1.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Do you want to call roll?
Dr. Goodwin,
Yes.
Mr. Robertson,
Yes.
Mr. Mulligan,
Yes.
through the chair, motion passes.
Okay, so congratulations.
The board and I think the staff.
Good luck getting that concrete out of there. Okay, so, are there any public comments on matters other than the items that were on our docket for today? No public?
No public comments, no comments online.
Okay, any hearing board member comments on anything?
Nope.
No? Okay, any new business? Nope. Okay, so I guess we are adjourned and we will meet back on our next date, April 17th, 2024.
Good job, Dr. Goodwin.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, thank you.